members. I'm feeling very great to share this moment with you people. I understand it's such a moment of infamy when the entire world and our country was put at lockdown. I still continue to call upon people to adhere to the principles and the rules of the game. We should maintain the SOPs. Yes, I know you are worried, but since we saw the beginning of this calamity and the catastrophe, I'm assuring you we shall overcome it as long as we have adhered to the principles of the game. There is no need of fearing. The only thing we must fear is fear itself. Yes, I remember the time we broke off, we had talked about the Greek War of Independence, and we said Greece as a nation was a famous nation since time immemorial. Back in the days of the ancient Greek gods like Poseidon, Athena, Zeus, Achilles, and others. All those ancient Greek kings, gods made Greece a popular nation all over the world. Then, in the Middle Ages, Greece became very, very popular when it championed Western civilization and the Renaissance. When we talk of Renaissance, we mean the study of classical art and learning. The issue of learning education were pioneered by the Greeks, and some of the Greek philosophers included Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates. Those are the people who pioneered education, learning, classical art, literature, and others. All those people came from Greece, and other very many authors and writers and philosophers originated from Greece, like Socrates and very, very many others. So that's the country we're talking about. Greece was a popular nation right from the Middle Ages and the modern times. Then Western civilization, when people of Europe started moving away from superstition and other backward ways to enlightenment, when each and everything was improving in the society, that kind of a move from rudimentary ways of doing things to modern ways was pioneered by the Greeks. Despite of such developments, the Greeks are the pioneered and they are the engineered. Later on, this started to fall under foreign domination. When the Ottoman Turks, who came from Asia, came and dominated the Greeks. Finally, the Greeks lost their independence and had to be dominated by the Ottoman Turks, who were Muslims, and subjected the Greeks to foreign domination, which by the 19th century, the Greeks were taboo. So, the Greeks under the Ottoman Empire, they enjoyed a number of privileges. For example, for them, they were allowed to practice their religion. The Greeks were Christian Orthodox. They were allowed to practice their religion. Though the Ottoman Empire was under the Muslims, the Mohammedans, but the Greeks were given a lion's share within that empire. They owned large chunks of land in the Ottoman Empire. They are the leader of their Orthodox religion, so-called patriarch, that was recognized by the government. They were running a number of businesses which made them very wealthy. And pardon that, those people were educated. They were learned, and they had a strong middle class. And for them, they were not liable to military training as long as they cleared the taxes. So, despite of a number of privileges the Greeks enjoyed in the Ottoman Empire, they thought that was not enough. They could not be blinded by such privileges which the Ottoman Empire, which the Ottoman Turks and the Sultan was giving them. No, they thought that was not enough. They had to ask for independence. The only thing remaining was their independence, because all their developments had been suffocated because of that foreign domination. The Sultan And these people and these officials were underlooking these land people, these great intellectuals. That's why by 1821, the Greeks rose up against the Ottoman Empire because the Greek War of Independence. So the Greek War of Independence was mainly caused by the desire for the Greeks to get their independence from the Ottoman Turks. Then in 1821, the Greeks formed a labor group in names of Eteria Filike, or the Society of Friends, by Alexander Ypsilanti. Alexander Ypsilanti was a Greek who was a soldier in the Russian army. He came in Greece, mobilized the fellow Greeks, rise up to fight for their cause. Then he organized revolts in Wallachia and Moldavia, but he lost it. He failed to mobilize very many people, and this revolt failed. Then later on, he was exiled. He went in Austria, where he was imprisoned by Metternich. After the failure of the revolts in those states of Wallachia and Moldavia, the Greeks didn't give up. Later on, they organized revolts in Morea. In Morea, what the Greeks did, they went and they butchered and they massacred Muslims who were totaling 25,000 Muslims were killed by these Greeks in order to get their independence. Later on, the Muslims reacted by butchering, by declaring a holy war against the Greeks, where they massacred 27,000 Greeks were massacred. To make matters worse, these Mohammedans, these Muslims of the Ottoman Empire, went ahead, they arrested and hanged the leader of the Christian Orthodox, the patriarch of the Greeks was arrested and hanged in front of his cathedral. Later on, his body was thrown into waters of the Bosphorus, and his body was picked. It was found floating by a passing vessel of the Greeks. His body was picked. Then it was given a national value by the Greeks. After the war, then the war continued. The fighting continued between the Greeks and the Sultan of Turkey. Later on, the meeting was called by Congress members at St. Petersburg to talk about the issue of the Greeks. Other powers could not just sit down to see the Greeks being butchered by the Muslims under their Sultan of Turkey. Congress powers led by Russia, Britain, and others met at St. Petersburg. The meeting of St. Petersburg in 1825, they met at St. Petersburg to address the issue of Turkey and Greece, but the matter was not well handled. What Russia wanted to intervene into that war, but it had brought on because of the pressure from Britain. After the war, after the Sultan of Turkey failing to suppress the Greek War of Independence, later on, I had to call Mehmet Ali. I had to welcome Mehmet Ali. And who was Mehmet Ali? Mehmet Ali was the leader of Egypt. He had been a provincial chief of Egypt, ruling Egypt on behalf of the Sultan of Turkey. So the Sultan of Turkey called Mehmet Ali so as to give him support, so as to suppress the Greek War of Independence. And Mehmet Ali had to send his rule like a son, named Ali Pasha. Ali Pasha was sent by his father Mehmet Ali to go and suppress the Greeks who were rebelling against the Sultan of Turkey. When Ali Pasha went, he started massacring, started killing, they started executing the Greeks, which attracted the public attention, which attracted the international sympathy. By all European powers were attracted by this matter because Ali Pasha was killing the Greeks in large numbers. That was 1826. Remember I told you that Russia wanted to intervene in the war, but it was stopped. By 1827, Russia intervened in the Greek War of Independence. Russia intervened in this war so as to give assistance to its Greek brothers. Remember, the Greeks and Russians were all Slav people, and they belong to the same religion of the so-called Greek, the so-called Christian Orthodox. They were Orthodox. So Russia intervened in this also as well as its Orthodox brothers. So it intervened in the also as to stop the Sultan of Turkey and the Ali Pasha, a son of Mehmet Ali, from executing the Greeks in large numbers. So Russia intervened in the war, but Britain could not allow Russia to intervene alone, because Britain knew that in case Russia had intervened alone in this war, it would give Russia a lion's share in the problems of the Ottoman Empire. That's why Britain entered in the war on the side. Britain and Russia entered in the war on the side of the Greeks, while Austria and Prussia, for them, they opposed, they were supporting Turkey. They didn't want this war of liberation to succeed. So for them, they rejected it, and they didn't support Britain and Russia's intervention into the war. So when Russia intervened in the war, the Sultan of Turkey and the Ali Pasha, the son of Mehmet Ali, were stopped and were defeated in that war. And finally, Turkey was forced to recognize the independence of Greece. And by 1827, they signed the 1827 London Conference. The 1827 London Conference confirmed the independence of Greece from Turkey. The independence of Greece from Turkey was confirmed by the London Conference of 1827, where powers met in London, powers which met in London included Greece, Britain, Turkey and Russia. Then the independence of Greece from Turkey was confirmed by that conference. Though Greece's independence had been confirmed, but it had to be over the leadership of Turkey. It had to pay tribute to the Sultan of Turkey. Then it was after upon that in the London Conference of 1827 that Greece had got independence from Turkey. Later, then in 1827, after Turkey losing the war and Greece had been given independence, Mehmet Ali Pasha of Egypt and the Sultan of Turkey, though they had accepted in the London Conference, they continued the fighting. So what Britain did, Britain under its Admiral, names of Admiral Codrington, under its Admiral Codrington, it sent its fleet to go and stop Ali Pasha of Egypt from engaging against Greece, which had been confirmed independent. So they formed a combined fleet of Turkey and Egypt. Their intention was not to destroy that fleet, but told those people that please, there is no need of fighting, please accept an armistice, give up the fighting and respect Greece's independence. But the combined fleet of Egypt and Turkey failed to accept the armistice, and it was destroyed by Codrington at a place called Navarino Bay. Then later on in 1828 to 29, Russia engaged because the Turks under their Sultan had failed to accept and recognize the independence of Greece. That's why Russia continued fighting and to fight against Turkey, because Turkey had failed to recognize the independence of Greece. And finally, after this war of 1828-29, Turkey was defeated by Russia. Then Russia forced Turkey to sign the Treaty of Adrianople. Russia forced Turkey to sign the Treaty of Adrianople. And in this treaty, Greece's independence was confirmed, but Greece had to continue to be under the overlordship of Turkey, and it meant that Greece was continuing paying the tributes to the Sultan of Turkey. But Britain and the other powers were not happy with this treaty of Adrianople, because it would allow Russia to continue interfering in the affairs of Greece and Turkey. What they did in 1830, they organized another conference. They organized the London Conference of 1830, and in the London Conference of 1830, London Conference, the independence of Greece was confirmed from Turkey, and in 1832, Greece was given independence from Greece. Its independence was confirmed in 1830. Then in 1832, its borders were demarcated from those of Turkey. It means from 1821 to 1832, the Greeks, the Greek of independence ended in favor of the Greeks, and finally they had got their independence. So, in our lesson, before we broke off, we had looked at the causes of the Greek of independence, and the main cause of the Greek of independence was the need for the independence. The Greeks had desired for their independence. They had been under the control of the Ottoman Turks for so long, and all of their developments and the progress had failed because of being under foreign domination. That's why they rose up against the Ottoman Empire, because of the Greek War of independence. Then we talked about the influence of the French Revolution also caused the Greek of independence. By 1789, the Frenchmen rose up against the Bourbon monarch, and they overthrew the ruling class, and they established a nation which was favoring each and everyone. And they caused a number of changes in France which were favoring the the civilians. So such victory which the Frenchmen got inspired the Greeks also to rise up against the Ottoman Turks, who had controlled them for a long period of time. Then we also talked about the need to revive the past glory of Greece. As we have said, Greece was a popular nation back from the ancient days. Then in the Middle Ages, Greece championed Western civilization and education. So they enjoyed a lot of culture, a lot of history. But they had not benefited from such culture because of being under foreign domination. That's why by 1821, they had to stage a war of independence against the Ottoman Turks because of the Greek War of Independence. Then the Greeks also had a strong middle class. They had very many intellectuals who were land, who had a lot of money, and these are the people who financed the war, and these are the same people who mobilized others to wage a war of independence against the Ottoman Turks, and very many factors as we looked at them. Then our next subtopic is the impacts of the Greek War of Independence. Impacts of the Greek War of Independence. So what you have to know that the impacts, this is we talk about impacts, we mean effects, rigors, which a particular event left in the society. When we talk about the impacts of the Greek War of Independence, we mean positive things and negative things which the Greek War of Independence left in Greece and Europe at large. What you have to know, after the end of this war, the Greeks got independence. The Greeks got independence. their independence was confirmed and the Greek nation was established under Prince Otto. Prince Otto of Bavaria. So Greece became a kingdom under Prince Otto of Bavaria, and its borders were separated or were demarcated from those of Turkey in 1832. Then we could say the Greek War of Independence also caused a good relationship between Britain and Turkey. Remember, for all along, Russia had wanted to disintegrate or to break down the Ottoman Empire. But Britain was not interested in that. That's why we saw Britain intervening in the issues of Turkey. And at the end, Turkey's integrity was saved when Britain intervened in and it cancelled out the Treaty of Adrianople. Later on, Turkey's territorial integrity was to be respected. That's why Britain had to enter into this. So because it knew that in case it had allowed Russia to intervene alone in the matters of the Ottoman Empire, Russia would go ahead to disintegrate the Ottoman Empire. So Britain gave a lot of assistance to the Turkish so as to maintain the Ottoman Empire, which caused a friendly relationship between Britain and the Ottoman Turks. Then another one, the Greek War of Independence also revived European diplomacy or cooperation among the powers. When we talk of diplomacy, we mean a number of meetings which were organized amongst the European powers. When the Greek War of Independence happened, European powers engaged in a number of meetings so as to handle this matter, which brought up cooperation. The case in point was the meeting of St. Petersburg, which was called by the Tsar of Russia to address the Greek War of Independence. Then we had the London Conference of 1827 and 1830. All those meetings were called to settle the Greek War, the fate of the Greeks, which caused the cooperation amongst the European powers. Then we could also say that the Greek War of Independence also inspired the Italians in their unification. The Greek War of Independence also inspired the Italians in their unification. By 1815, the Italians had showed the interest of self-governing, but they were betrayed by the Vienna settlement because they were put under the control of Austria. But the success of the Greek War of Independence inspired the Italians to continue with their struggle, though they had been betrayed by the Vienna settlement. But the success of the Greek War of Independence inspired them to continue fighting for their cause, and they didn't give up, though they had been lost in the first phase, which was a positive impact on the Italians. Then another positive impact was that the Greek War of Independence also inspired the Germans, in their unification. Like the Italians, even the Germans were interested in their unification, but they were also failed by the Vienna settlement of 1814, 1815. So, but the success of the Greek War of Independence gave those people hope that in case they also persisted their cause, they would achieve it. That's why the Germans continued to ask and fight for their unification, which they finally got in 1971. But they got that courage from the Greek War of Independence, which they succeeded. Then we could also say that the Greek War of Independence also enabled the Sultan of Turkey to give fair treatment with Christian subjects. Because all along, the Mohammedans, the Sultans, had mistreated the Christian people. They were killing them. Like as they executed 27,000 Greeks. Moreover, they had to hang a bishop. He was hanged in front of his cathedral. But after the War of Independence, the Sultan of Turkey had to give fair treatment to his people. Then, what have known that the Greek War of Independence also had negative impacts on Europe. It had negative impacts on Europe. Like one being that the Greek War of Independence led to the collapse of the Congress system. Remember the Congress system? This was a number of meetings, a body which was put in place after the Vienna settlement to continue the diplomatic meetings amongst the European powers. But when the Greek War of Independence occurred, Congress members took sides. We saw Britain and Russia supported the Greek War of Independence, while Prussia and Austria they rejected. For them, they didn't want Greece to get independence. With this power divided, the Congress system had prepared by 1830 because these four powers parted ways because of the Greek War of Independence. Hence, explain the collapse of the Congress system by 1830. Then we could also say that the Greek War of Independence caused the Syrian question. Immediately after the Greek War of Independence, another event occurred in the Ottoman Empire, and it came to be known as the Syrian question. When it came to the Syrian question, here we mean a conflict between the Sultan of Turkey and his provincial chief named Mehmet Ali. Remember we said in 1826 during the War of Independence, the Sultan of Turkey called Mehmet Ali to come and give him support in suppressing the Greek War of Independence, who had outsmarted him in Morea. When Mehmet Ali was called on promise that was to be given Morea, Great Syria and the other territories. But after the Greek War of Independence succeeding, the Sultan of Turkey saw no need of rewarding Mehmet Ali, hence failing to give him the promised territories, which forced Mehmet Ali to occupy Syria to cause the Syrian question. So the Syrian question was a sign of the Greek War of Independence because it resulted from the Greek War of Independence. Another negative impact, we could say that the Greek War of Independence also led to death of people. A number of people had to lose their lives because of the Greek War of Independence. Then we talk about the 25,000 Muslims who were massacred by the Greeks. Then 27 Greeks were butchered by the Muslims. Moreover, they had even to kill the patriarch, the leader of the Christian Orthodox, and his body was put in front of his cathedral. Very many people had to lose their lives because of the Greek War of Independence. Then there was loss of property. Property was destroyed in the form of buildings and others. Then the Greek War of Independence also exposed the hidden agenda, or the exposed the interest of European powers towards the Ottoman Empire. The case in point was Russia, which intervened in the war, yet in actual sense wanted to disintegrate the Ottoman Empire. On the side of Britain, they wanted to safeguard the Ottoman Empire so as to protect its commerce and trade in the Far East. So the hidden agenda and the interest of European powers were exposed by the Greek War of Independence. We could also say that the Greek War of Independence also failed the Metternich system, and it took a lead. Remember, for a long, Metternich had succeeded in suppressing revolts in Europe. But when the Greek War of Independence happened, Metternich didn't intervene, and his role was very, very little and was not recognized. And after its success, the Metternich system, which was after suppressing revolts, it was challenged by the Greek War of Independence. Then another one, the Greek War of Independence also inspired other revolutions in Europe. We had a number of revolutions which occurred in Europe, like 1830 revolutions, 1848 revolutions. All these resulted from the Greek War of Independence because other people in different nations were inspired by the activities of the Greeks to rise up against their leaders and the governments to cause the 1848 revolution. So in conclusion, the impacts of the Greek War of Independence were positive and and the negative part. What you have to know, finally, the Greeks were given their independence between 32 under Prince Otto of Bavaria. Then the remaining small subtopic on the Greek War of Independence is the factors for the success of the Greek War of Independence. A question came in 2019, to what extent were external factors responsible for the success of the Greek War of Independence? To what extent were external factors responsible for the success of the Greek War of Independence? Factors for the success, of the Greek War of the Greek War of Independence. So the Greek War, which had started in 1821, it succeeded in 1832-33 when the Greeks were given independence under Prince Otto of Bavaria, and its boundaries and borders were demarcated from those of Turkey. You need to know which factors were responsible for the success of the Greek War of Independence. There are many causes which have happened. There are very many struggles which people have organized, and they failed. There must be factors responsible for that. Even this cause, there are very many factors which were responsible for its success. Then one of them was the Greeks were rich. The Greeks were rich. Remember, the Greeks owned a number of businesses in the Ottoman Empire. They were educated, they were learned people, and they were learning a number of businesses. So they had a lot of money which enabled them to finance this struggle. So their wealth enabled them to finance the Greek War of Independence. Then another one was the massive support. All the Greeks, be it educated, be it illiterate, they were interested in the Italian cause. That's why a case in point was in Morea, where the illiterate Greeks rose up and tried to massacre the Muslims. The Greeks, the Greek War of Independence had support from all the Greek people. Like Mao Zedong once said that if you want to establish a revolution, consider yourself fish and consider masses as water. Because the fish can't survive without water. Even this cause had massive support from people. That's why people gave it support. They engaged in a number of revolts which enabled the Greek War of Independence to succeed. Then you could say support from foreign powers. Support from the foreign powers. The Greeks got support from foreign powers because they couldn't do it alone. The case in point, they got support from Russia and Britain. Britain and Russia intervened in the Greek War of Independence on the side of the Greeks, which gave Greeks more energy, which they needed in their cause. And the number of conferences, like in 1927, London Conference, was called by Britain to address the Greek War of Independence. And finally, the Greece's independence was confirmed. So, foreign powers played a very great role. Then, we can talk about the determination of the Greeks. The Greeks were very determined. They were armed with this. They were very ready to cause a change in Greece. That's why, despite of the massacres, despite of the defeats they experienced in the Greek War of Independence, they never gave up. A case in point, their bishop was hanged in front of his cathedral, but they didn't give up. Instead, they gave him a national burial and was considered as a hero. And they continued fighting for their cause. hence explain the success of the Greek war of independence. Then another one would say the role of sympathizers. The role of sympathizers. There are different people who joined the Greek war of independence. Yet they are not Greeks. A case in point was Lord Byron. Lord Byron was a British poet who sacrificed his life for the Greek cause. He engaged in the war to fight alongside the Greeks. Yet in that sense, he wasn't a Greek. He was a British, but who wanted to see the Greeks succeeding. That's why another this man was killed in 1924 at Missolingo, where he had gone to help the Greeks in their cause. Then another one would say the weakness of the Congress system also led to the success of the Greek War of Independence. The Congress system had divisions amongst its powers. The case in point when the War of Independence happened, Britain and Russia intervened in the war on the side of the Greeks. Yet Prussia and Austria, for them, rejected that intervention. With such divisions, the Congress powers would not come in to suppress the Greek War of Independence. Remember, the Congress powers under their Troppau Protocol, they are devoted to suppress any kind of revolution which was challenging the status quo of Europe at that era. So the division is they had enabled the Greek War of Independence to succeed. Then another one would say the role of public opinion, like public opinion. Different peoples of Europe supported the Greek War of Independence. Like when the Greek patriarch was assassinated and his body hanged in front of his cathedral, all of the people were touched, they were attracted. They sympathized with the Greeks, hence pressurizing their governments to intervene in the Greek War in the Greek War of Independence. Then I think we could talk of the outbreak of the Belgian Revolution, the outbreak of the 1830, the outbreak of the 1830 Belgian Revolution. When the Belgian Revolution occurred, European powers like Britain and others were attracted by the Belgian Revolution. So, hence enabling the Greeks, since they were attracted to that matter, they paid. Later on they named the Greek matter. And later on the Greeks utilized that opportunity that European powers were attracted to the Greek War, the Belgian Revolution, not the Greek War, and then they continued fighting till when they got their independence. Then another matter to talk about was the intervention of Russia, the Greek War of Independence led to its success. When the Russians intervened in the Greek War of Independence in 1827, it attracted Britain to also enter in this war because Britain could not allow Russia to intervene in the war alone. Because if Russia had intervened in the war alone, at the end of the day, the Greek problems would be settled by Russia. That's why Britain intervened in the war, and Britain's intervention enabled them to support the Greeks, hence giving them support which enabled their cause to succeed by 1832. Then another one was the fear of Russia's expansionism. The fear of Russia's expansionism also led the success of the Greek War of Independence. When the Russians intervened in the war, other European powers like Britain, who had paid their fear European problems, were attracted in the matter because they feared that Russia would expand her territories in the Ottoman Empire. That's why Britain intervened in the war alongside Russia, which in the long run enabled the Greeks to get their independence because the Ottoman Turks were defeated and the Greece's independence was confirmed. Then another one was the destruction of the Turkish fleet at Navarino Bay. Navarino Bay. When Turkey failed to recognize the independence of Greece, it merged up its forces with Egypt. Then Britain and Russia sent their fleet, which went and confronted that of Egypt and Turkey. Then Egypt and Turkey were called upon to accept an armistice, but they rejected. Then their fleet was destroyed at Navarino Bay. Destroying their fleet, it weakened those people, and it showed them that these people were very ready to see the Greeks getting their independence, and it finally weakened Turkey because its fleet had been destroyed at Navarino Bay. Then another one was the signing of the Treaty of Adrianople. The signing of the Treaty of Adrianople. Also, people decided on the Greek War of independence. That was the treaty which Russia forced Turkey to sign, so as to accept the independence of Greece. But that treaty of Adrianople, it had allowed the Greece to continue paying tributes to the Sultan of Turkey, something which annoyed Britain. Had they allowed that treaty of Adrianople to continue, it would give Russia, it would have given Russia an opportunity to continue intervening in the affairs of the Ottoman Empire. That's why Britain came in and they cancelled out that treaty, and finally in 1830 the London Conference was called, and the Greeks were awarded their independence. Another point which was responsible for the success of the Greek War of Independence was the sickness of Turkey. Turkey, which was one of the strongest empires. By the 19th century, by the start of the 19th century, it was no more. It was no more militarily and economically. And the number of its subjects had rose up against it, like the Serbians under Karageorgia, they challenged Turkey. And the Turkey was very weak militarily, and they couldn't defend themselves from foreign aggressions. So, such weaknesses, such military weaknesses, it enabled the Greeks to defeat the Turkish, hence explaining their independence by 1832. So, the Greek War of Independence, which had started in 1921, it succeeded by 1932 when the Greeks were awarded their independence, and their boundaries and borders were demarcated from those of Turkey. Then the questions which are always asked under this topic, they always ask questions concerning causes. They can ask questions concerning causes of the Greek War of Independence. They could say to what extent were internal factors responsible for the outbreak of the Greek War of Independence. Or they can say to what extent were external factors responsible for the outbreak of the Greek War of Independence. They always ask questions under impacts, assess the impacts of the Greek War of Independence on Europe, on Greece or Europe. So that is a two-sided question according to a standpoint. There we give positives and the negatives, and the standpoint is called for. Then lastly, they always say the question on factors for the success. Like in 2019, the question was said, what extent the external factors responsible for the success of Greek War of Independence. So all in all, people should know that Greece as a nation was a famous nation back from the ancient days, and we said the Greeks had a good mythology concerning their ancient gods, Zeus, Poseidon, Athena, Achilles, and the others. Then we said in the Middle Ages, the Greeks pioneered Western civilization and the Renaissance, studying of classical art and the learning, writing books and the others. Then we said Greece was regarded as the land of philosophers, because many of the great philosophers came from Greece: Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates. Despite of such good history, such good developments, later on the Greeks came under domination by the Ottoman Turks. And under the Ottoman Turks, the Greeks enjoyed some privileges which we talked about, like they were given they had religious freedom, and their patriarchal religious leader was recognized by the Ottoman government. They were owning a number of businesses. They were educated. For them, they were not liable to compulsory military training. They had land. But despite all such privileges which those people were giving them, placing on their table, they thought that was not enough, because the Ottoman Turks underlooked them, regarding them as infidels, something which annoyed the Greeks. Moreover, the Greeks were being ruled by the Ottoman Turks, who were not learned, were illiterate. They were not educated. Imagine people who were educated, who were very genius, very knowledgeable, being ruled by people who were not learned, who were illiterate. So it was too annoying to the Greeks, and between 21 under Italy Epirike, the so-called society of friends under Alexander Ypsilanti, they rose up against the Ottoman Empire, because the Greek War of Independence. So the Greek War of Independence was a war which was staged by the Greeks so as to get independence from the Ottoman Empire, so that they can determine their fate. And we have seen that causes, many of them were long-term factors dating back from their ancient days. Then some of them were short-term factors, like the outbreak of the Serbian revolts, the outbreak, the inspiration from the French Revolution. And what you have to know, that finally the Greeks got their independence in 1932. And what you have to know, when the Greek of independence happened, a number of European powers were attracted to the Ottoman Empire. A case in point was Russia, which intervened in the war on the so as to prepare the Greeks who were fellow Christian Orthodox. Then Britain intervened in the war so as to supervise the activities of Russia. Britain could not allow Russia to intervene alone, because at the end of the day, Russia would get a share and it would set terms and conditions in settling the matter. On the other side, Egypt was also attracted in the matter. When the Sultan of Turkey had to call Mehmet Ali, his provincial chief in Egypt, who sent his warlike son, Ali Pasha, who came and started executing the Greeks. So very many European powers were attracted to the Greek War of Independence. And finally, the war ended in favor of the Greeks. Their borders and boundaries were demarcated from those of Turkey. And finally, Greece became an independent nation. So my fellow historians, Greek War of Independence, it is a simple topic. If you understand the Greek War of Independence, you must know the history of Greece as a nation. You must know the conditions of the Greeks under the Ottoman Empire, how they are treated in the Ottoman Empire, and you have to know the developments which occurred from 1789 after the French Revolution up to 1820, because all those developments inspired the Greeks, and most of those developments occurred in the Ottoman Empire. Those developments inspired the Greeks rise up against the Ottoman Turks. And then you must understand how European powers, the role of European powers in the Greek War of Independence. So Greek War of Independence is a simple topic, very, very strategic. It just appeared in 2019. So I wish you will continue making research over this topic for God and my country.